I fought so hard to be closer to him. I was still in Beirut, he was in Texas. Long distance, different continents, it was already impossible. But that did not stop me.
And I wish you were here. Ciao.
I worked non-stop, and on holidays I flew 25 hours just to spend a few days with him. Everything that could go wrong went wrong at some point. That should have been my clue, but I was so naively optimistic. The only thing that truly terrified me was the US visa. So when I got it for 5 years, I felt like nothing can stop us. The airline lost my baggage, my flights got delayed, even my wallet got stolen on our first trip together. I still didn't care. Then, on one of our trips, US border control stopped me. For 6 hours, they questioned me and searched my phone. And the whole time, I kept thinking, this is the end. But after 6 hours, they let me through. And the next morning, I woke up in his arms, breakfast at Dennis, and somehow we went back to planning our future together. Marriage in Hamburg, maybe New York, a life together. And I wasn't going to give up on our dream.
I am impressed. Go ahead, go ahead. You're my hero. Whenever I grow up, I want to be like you.
I love Beirut. The city, the people, the weather, the food, the streets that never sleep. In my last years there, I worked downtown, a couple streets away from home. So every morning, I walked to work. I was a senior engineer. I had the best team and the best management one could hope for. My friends, my father, and my whole life were there. But Lebanon was cracking too. In 2019, the revolution started, and for a moment, I had hope. Then the economic crisis came in, and one crisis followed the other. On top of that, I had already been threatened to be straight or go to jail. So for us to have a life together, I had to leave home. It was impossible to find a software engineering job where he lived in Texas. Then I received the same job offer from Germany 5 times until my boyfriend pushed me to accept it so that he can follow me.
And I need to say something in Spanish. Mi novio es la mera de la verga. Ciao.
I did it all so we could finally be under the same roof in 2020. By the time I got to Germany, I had already maxed out. I arrived in Hamburg on February 29th, 2020. On March 2nd, I started my new job. On March 6th, my best friend visited me for support. I just needed to hold on a little longer. My boyfriend was coming on March 13, and we had our Easter trip the month after. On March 11th, 2020, COVID-19 hit. Trump stopped all flights between Europe and the US, so our trips got cancelled. For the rest of the world, the chaos was just starting. For me, it never ended.
I'm begging you for some sun, but you still got nothing to say. Don't turn your back on me, don't walk away.
I was locked in my apartment, working from home in a city where I knew no one. He stayed in Texas with his mom and sister around. I kept trying to find a way for us to meet. I called the US Embassy, I searched Facebook groups, I tried everything. Until we found out that Greece finally opened its doors for American tourists. So we booked our trips to meet there. He took the first flight, and while he was already on the way, Greece closed again, and he had to go back home. Meanwhile, Germany had strict lockdowns, and because I worked for one of the biggest e-commerce in Germany, the pandemic increased my workload. I had to figure out my new job without proper help or onboarding because of the home office. Back home, Lebanon was getting worse every day. I couldn't lose my job or my visa. So I held everything in. No family, no gym, no support, no escape, but I had to be strong. I was losing myself just to keep going.
You cannot rely on anybody these days except for pizza and yourself.
I felt myself crumbling. He felt it too. I guess this is why he pulled away for 3 weeks. I broke up and I tried to move on. I guess after 3 weeks he realized he was actually neglecting me. So he said sorry. But it was the same day I have tried to move on. And even though I was not successful, when he told me that he was sorry, that he wanted to fix stuff, I was honest. I said, I'm sorry too. I tried to move on. He never forgave me for this. I was supposed to stay strong and carry everything on my shoulders, even after the breakup. That same week, Beirut explosion took what was left from my sanity. The worst part, he had the privilege to move on. I was left to continue the dream we started together. The storm hit harder than anything I'd known, but I did not have the privilege to stop and count my losses. Too much was at stake. So I survived, I adapted, I disconnected. But survival isn't the goal anymore.
I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talking myself for hours, say things you don't understand.
Knowing what would happen, the love, the broken dreams, and the dark days, I would still do it all over again. I'm gay, I'm neurodivergent, and I'm from South Lebanon. The decks were already stacked against me. If I didn't dream, if I didn't fight so hard, I would be gone like my cousins, stuck pretending I'm straight like my childhood friends, still monitored, still blackmailed, or even jailed for being gay. And honestly, by the time I got to Europe, I thought the hardest part was over. I thought I already won, but Europe had its own challenges. And then the world broke at the exact wrong moment. I kept going through the darkness, broken and shattered. Eventually, I got exhausted, and I let the world tell me who I should be. I lost hope, confidence, and my dreams, until one day, I saw what giving up was doing to my best friend, and it broke my heart. So I forced myself to take chances, and slowly I started to trust myself again. The hardest thing in this life is to truly live, to keep dreaming, to take chances, to get back up even when the world keeps telling you it's impossible. I will fall, I will break my heart, I might even lose myself again, but I will always find my way back home.